We're here at Whilton once again for round number 6 of the Club 100 Junior Super Lightweight Championship in 2024. Will we get another win? Could we get some decent points from today? Or will we have to deal with some bad luck and just try and drive the best we can? Today we're at Whilton Kart Circuit for round number 6 of the Club 100 Junior Super Lightweight season. Lovely weather today, quite similar to what it was like on round 3 actually. Surprised it isn't actually that hot because it's the middle of July. Been a bit weird this weather this year, but anyway, should be some good racing today. Lovely weather, so quick laps. Actually got to grips with the track last time pretty well with the new layout, with the weird chicane. Still not a great fan of it, but like, is what it is. So yeah, hopefully today's a good day, get some good points, and we can continue my championship fight against JB's Highly Good. So yeah, should be fun. So what's your goal for today?
I'm hoping for a final top 10 realistically. Yeah.
Okay. But like, it's just pre-event, so it doesn't really matter at all.
Yeah, I know. I've got a good group for practice.
I've got some smelly group.
Yeah. I've got some like Max Sheldon, Jamie Tyler Gooden.
So you can slip
people
through
like
them.
that. Yeah, exactly. We can all work together.
Yeah, we got to be just really careful on the exit of turn 2 because they've track limits. So.
Right, hello Benji.
Hello.
What are your goals for today?
I'm hoping for, well, a good result, definitely A final, probably top 10 like you said.
Yeah.
We're just trying to beat Jamie, that's the aim. So like, if Jamie comes like 20th, I want to go like 19th or something. So I could just like try and catch him in the championship. So
if you win today, where will you be in the championship?
What if we win both?
If you win pre-final and final?
Well, it depends what Jamie finishes. But
okay.
I'm second, I'm like 11 points behind, so...
That's not too bad. This interview's not gone very well, chat.
No, it's not gone great.
We may need to delete this off his camera.
Okay, right, I need to get ready now, so I'm still going to use this.
Hello, my name's Benji Hamilton. And I'm going to be taking pole at Whilton Mill. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of this action. That's Logan.
Benji, you going tomorrow?
Yeah, he's going next to me.
I bet you guys are.
Charlie, I've got to do a paddling.
Hello? Anyone in there?
Yeah, I know. My mum is not.
So now we're going out for our practice session here at Whilton Mill. Obviously, new layout. We've been here before for round number 3. Did pretty well that time, got our first double win. We've got our first pre-final win and actually our first overall win in Club 100 Juniors. And we've immediately overtaken someone here and thought about going up the inside of another driver there. But just obviously you don't want to be an absolute muppet and take someone out. So going towards Christmas, I think that guy goes for a move in front and we're going to follow them through, and we actually get a switch back on him and we managed to get past the both of them, so that was a lovely move we just made there. Again, another switchback, quite easy to do. Ignore that voice crack. Quite easy to do. At Whilton in round 2, around the turn 2. Down the inside of another driver there. Little love tap, but it's okay. Up towards Christmas, someone spins in front of us, and we just dodge him at the last second. Very tense moment that. Surprised that I actually missed it, and just like that, practice is already over and done with. So that was practice. P3, so not too bad. 4/10 off the pace. I see Logan in the background doing some stuff. Wasn't too bad. Definitely could go a lot quicker. The track felt really slidey, and because of that new rule coming out of turn 2, I found it really difficult to sort of adapt to that because it felt really slidey, the track. The track's definitely going to improve a lot, so it definitely matters on what time you go out on track today. Yeah, it should be interesting. Definitely know where I can improve. I wasn't really sure if it's quicker launching the curb or not around the new chicane. But yeah, good fun. Definitely know where to improve. So now going out for my qualifying session at Whilton Mill. Really just gonna have to try and make sure, obviously, to get an A final, but you really want to be the top 10 at least, because if you're any further down, really, it's just complete carnage. As you can already see, someone's already spun out, sort of proving my point of the carnage that happens here around Whilton Mill. It's actually quite easy to spin around that corner, so as it's downhill. Going up the inside of this driver into the boot, quite an easy move, as you can brake a bit and quite easy to slot up the inside. Threading it through the new chicane, launching that curb, which actually, I still don't know if it's quicker or not to. Like, it depends how much you take, really, I think. Following this driver down the straight, managed to get a bit of slipstream and sending it down the inside at Christmas. Really you can brake very late as it's an uphill corner, carry lots of speed around there. And into turn 2, we get a lovely switchback on this other drive. Quite a lot of traffic in this qualifying session, which made it quite hard to set a good lap. But here we go for a onboard lap. So that was qualifying, P3 in groups, so it isn't too bad, isn't great. Very, very close at the top. I think me and I think 4th got the same lap time, so very, very close in between us. Yeah, I think I was only like 200 off first in my group, so mega close. Slightly annoyed at the end of that session as got some traffic, and there's some person side defending on the last lap, on like the last few laps, which the tyres were really gripping up to, so lost a bunch of time there. And then on the last lap, which I was actually quite quick on, that last lap, some guy spun it, who seems to be this same person seems to be spinning like every session. Very annoying. So P3 in group, so it isn't too bad, isn't too great, but yeah, decently happy. Probably starting mid-pack in the A final, so not too bad. Championship.
Done, I don't know, done laters. Rough season.
So that was Quali. So P10 overall, like sort of where I expected, sort of in the middle. Not too bad, not too great, obviously, but definitely could have gone a lot quicker because of the traffic and stuff. So yeah, gonna make up some positions in the pre-final, and yeah, gonna aim top 5. I think in the pre-final. That's a good aim. Right, in a bit, Brev. So we're now on track for the pre-final. Starting in the mid-pack, we're going to roll through the tram lines and we're going to cross the start-finish line to start the pre-final. Got a decent start there, but sadly we're on the outside, which turns into the inside, and I actually make up a bunch of places there. I actually managed to get a really great start, making up I think 4 places there, and we're up into the top, I think 10-ish. So let me just count real quick. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're 6th or 7th currently, so that's pretty good going considering we started sort of in the middle of the A final. And obviously when you're in the middle of an A final in Club 100, you just know it's going to be absolute carnage. We accidentally pod Max Davies there. We think about going up the inside, but he covers it off really well. But we actually managed to get a good exit off that corner, but he's going to make sure to try and defend his position, kind of squeezes to the inside. He gives us just enough space to make our way down the inside, but he gets the inside for the next corner, and we've got another driver up our inside. I think that's Tyler Masters there, I think he's having his best round of Club 100 ever, but I think you can see where the problems start in this round. I found out quite quickly just then that this kart does not seem to have any acceleration coming out the slow corners. The top end seems okay, as I'm not really losing much, but the acceleration is not optimal, if I say so myself. And I made sure to check my weight, actually, as some of you may know, probably most of you will know. Club 100 have weights, weight limits, so it's a bit more fair, means like kart differences aren't as big as they would be if you had no weights. So it's trying to, and it really raises the level of competition, which makes everything a little bit more competitive and a little bit more fun to race. But obviously there's still differences in between karts, but you have to sort of adapt to what your kart's problems are, what its strengths are. So I found this kart seemed quite decent around the corners, but then yeah, even on the acceleration, like you'd see, even though I got a much better exit, I seemed to still get gapped going down the straights, even though I have a bit of a slipstream. So it is not optimal. As you can see there, he's just gapping us completely down the straight. I think I made a short actually of a while ago where you can see how much you should be gaining in the slipstream at Whilton, because obviously it's quite a long back straight going toward Christmas, and that slipstream usually helps a lot, at least half a second you could gain down that straight, I would say. Maybe a few tenths, maybe that's a bit over exaggerated. But we're going to go up the inside of Tyler Masters while I'm yapping. He made a slight mistake there going through the corner before Wilkins, and we managed to get the overtake done. But you can see I've lost a whole bunch of time to Max Davies, Max Sheldon Hayward, Blake Southern, all those other people in front of us. As I had a bit of battling and I was getting a bit stuck behind Tyler Masters, who seemed to be a bit slow around the corners, as obviously he hasn't got as much experience outdoor, but considering he's come from indoor karting at Crawley like me and gone basically immediately into Club 100, he's doing really well. So props to him, being in the A final. Very good job by him, and actually I think he out-qualified me, so yeah, very great job by him. But we're going to struggle to catch up to Max Davies and that big pack of karts in front of us, that pack of 6 karts in front, which sort of seem to be in 2 groups of 3. But I think that happens a lot in Club 100, where you have, because the karts are quite, obviously they're fast, but like obviously they're restricted, so they're not as quick as an own, obviously. But that means the slipstream in these karts is pretty powerful, which means if you're sort of by yourself and not following other drivers in front of you, or you've not got someone pushing you from behind, it's very difficult to catch another group of drivers in front, unless for some reason they just start battling, completely wipe each other out, etc. Yeah, but that sort of makes it quite interesting in terms of strategy, trying to figure out like if someone's behind is going to work with you or not. And we seem to have some yellow flags here being waved. I didn't see what that was for. Green flag back out, so that means back up to racing pace. So on yellow flag system in Club 100, you need to slow down around to half racing speed, but obviously people push that a lot. So you just got to be careful that you're not obviously going flat out, but obviously you're slowing down noticeably, putting your hand up to make sure other drivers know it is a yellow flag. And yeah. So I think we actually lost a little bit of time on that yellow flag. As you can see, we're going around turn 1, and then Max Davies and them lot are going towards Christmas now. So I would say that's probably at least like a 3-4 second gap, quite significant, and we're probably not going to be able to catch up because of our car issue, not seem to be pulling out the corners. But luckily, we are getting a little bit of help from Tyler Masters, who thankfully was bump drafting us basically for this entire race. So I'm really glad that he did that, otherwise I would have probably dropped back to where I probably started. As you can't see it on the camera, I kind of wish I had the camera turned around for this race, but right behind us there's like a train of basically the entire field. So you've got the top 6 in front of me, and then all the way behind me you've got from 7th to 24th roughly. As you can see, there's no one else going around the infield bit, so you can all tell that they're all right behind me, basically giving me a hard time. I think I look behind my shoulder going down this straight and just notice the huge train of karts right behind me. So I'm not really wanting to defend, as you sort of don't want to defend. Well, in Club 100, obviously, if you do defend, you lose so much time. And considering I'm already quite a bit far back from the drivers in front of me, I want to just try and do my best to try and minimise that gap being opened, as we are gaining a tiny bit, I would say. We've maybe gained like half a second since I last checked, pretty much. Since, well, I overtook Tyler Masters. So we're slowly gaining, but obviously these races are quite short. The sprint race is 11-minute long, so obviously not enough time, I would say, to close that gap. And not really much happens in this race. I sort of stick in my position until the final few laps, and I'll skip forwards a bit to those final few laps. So skipping a bit further into the race, we see Ollie Williams diving down our inside at Christmas, managing to get the slipstream and just managing to get that overlap on us. We make sure to give him just enough space on the inside. Going into the Ashby hairpin, there's not much we can do. We try and attempt the switchback, but you can already see the lack of power the car has, which means it's going to be very difficult to keep up with him, even with the slipstream. So trying to follow him around Ogiers, or I can never remember what that corner is called. I think it's Ogiers, if I'm right, but I'm not entirely sure. So anyway, going into the new chicane, making sure to absolutely clobber that curb, which actually gained us a bunch of time. But you can already see the lack of power this kart has. And we're going on to the final lap of this race. We're right behind him. Try and attempt the switch back on him round turn 2. But he's just in front of us, so not much we can do. So we're going to follow him through the wiggly bit after Christmas corner. Trying to attempt to switch back, thinking about going up the inside there, but obviously not wanting to absolutely punt someone off and risk getting a penalty. There is a slight yellow flag. I think that's maybe why he raised his hand, but the yellow flag quickly goes away. Now through Ogiers, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. We get a slightly worse exit, but he still keeps in front of us. Now going into the new boot, I think there was someone slightly on our inside there, so having to go slightly defensive from the drivers behind. And I think that's going to be P8 over the line. So made some positions that race. Really good start, but definitely struggled with the machinery I was given. So yeah, decent race, some points, and yeah, hopefully we can improve on that position in the final. So that was the pre-final, P8 in the pre-final. That was not too bad. I made up all my positions off the start. I had a really great start, and but yeah, managed to get up to P8. But my kart was quite smelly, so I could not keep up at all with the drivers in front. So I think I dropped a position from what I gained earlier. But yeah, decent race. P8. Definitely can go forwards in the final. Fingers crossed I get a rocket ship. So here we go for the final, starting right behind Max Davies. I think we're in 8th position, I think, starting in the tram lines, and away we go for the final race of the day. And Dom actually doesn't get a great start on that side, but now we've got the inside for turn 2, so we're going to try and squeeze our way up the inside of Dom there, and we actually do, I think. Following Max Davies, this kart seems a lot better down the straight already, and you can see we actually get almost half spun around there by Declan Luff. Really did not see him coming, and you see Max Davies really locking up the brakes there, and you just saw he went flying off the track. Absolute carnage as per usual at the start of a Club 100 Junior Super Lightweight A final is to be expected when you're starting in the midfield. Now right behind Max, I can already tell this kart has a lot more waft on it compared to the old one. So definitely can make up some positions in this race. So we're going to try and move forwards as quickly as we can, taking a lot of curbage around there following Max. But he seems to get a much better exit out of than us around there. I think looking back on this footage, it seems to me like I really need to, out of that chicane, I really need to sort of hug it a bit tighter to the inside, and we just made a slight mistake going around turn 2, which means he got to pull away a lot more. But definitely need to keep it a lot tighter coming out of that final chicane, because otherwise if you hit the outside curb you lose all your momentum. So it is not optimal. As you can see, Logan's in front of us, and I think that's Jamie, who is just absolutely gone, who is pulling away from the rest of the field. We're going to try and find our way past Max, who is right in front of us. He's going slightly defensive, knows that we're there. So we're going to try and get past him as quickly as we can. And we actually managed to get alongside him into the chicane. Very unusual move there. Given the space on the inside, try and carry the speed on the exit of the corner, but he's actually going to be on our left-hand side coming into the first corner. So we're going to make sure to give him plenty of space. Coming around turn 2, we actually managed to keep the position from Max. Oh, never mind. What am I on about? He managed to obviously switch back us. Fat skill issue by me, really. And there's another driver on the inside, so this has not been a great few corners for us, but we managed to hold our position and we stay where we are. So that failed overtake actually meant me and Max lost a whole bunch of time to the drivers in front. So I'm going to skip forwards a little bit to when we actually managed to catch up to those in front of us. So after a few laps, we have managed to catch up to the drivers in front because they are battling so hard, and they're actually going to go side by side. Logan and Blake are going to go side by side, and Max is going to go side by side with Logan, and we're going to follow him through into the chicane. Logan gives us space as he's a very respectful driver, and we managed to get the move done on Logan. But once again, we seem to get gapped coming out of that final chicane. I'm still not sure if it's just a big skill issue by me or the kart again seems to have no bottom end, but this kart definitely feels better than the last one. Max Davies, I think he just spams lockups so much. I'm not really sure how he does it, but like every corner you'll see he just locks up the brakes and you see all the tyre smoke coming out of the kart. I mean, it is an only kart tactic, but obviously in only kart you want to do it a little bit, a sort of half lock up the tyres so you can get sort of the most braking possible. But in the Club 100 karts, obviously the tyres have a lot less grip. I think they're Dunlop tyres. And yeah, locking up can work sometimes. I mean, especially in the wet, and it's very fun to do. But in the dry, sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. Like at Ella Park, you really had to lock up into that hairpin, which did gain you time. But at Whilton Mill, for me, I think the quickest way is to sort of half lock up the rear tyres. And you see Max Davies thought about going up for a move up the inside of Blake Southern in front. He's thinking about one again, but he's going to spam another lockup. It's just so fun to watch, honestly, like seeing people slide it in on the brakes. It just shows how much kart control these drivers have in Club 100. See how they progress onto owner karts and other forms of motorsport. Actually, Max Davies is obviously doing senior Rotax now with JWR Racing, Joe Weaver Racing, so in Super 1, so hope it goes well for him. And we're going to follow him through the chicane, making sure to try and not get a horrible exit as per usual. But you can see Max Sheldon's managed to get in front of Blake, and he's already got a decent sized gap to Blake, and Blake's going to start defending, and he punts Max Davies off the track there. That is not the best thing to do, as you can see. And we're going to follow Max Davies through there, and we're going to be right behind Blake Southern, who is a fair bit in front of us, so we're going to wait a minute and see if we can catch him up. So after a couple more laps, we've managed to catch up to Blake and Max. Max actually managed to gap him initially, but I think Blake managed to catch up a bit. And Blake's going to go mega defensive on the inside, and we're going to swoop to the outside, try and do a Macaulay Bishop overtake, but he punts us a bit wide, so we lose 2 positions, and Max Davies goes spinning off. I'm not really sure if that was a racing incident or done on purpose. I'm not really sure, but that's meant we've lost 2 places, so not optimal from us. And we're going to go down the inside of the driver in an orange helmet. We've still got the inside, and now we're on the outside somehow, and Logan managed to get up inside, and we actually go completely off the track, full on lawnmower mode, and that's a horrible bunch of corners for us, and we end up losing 2 places from when we started the other lap. Not great from us. Not really anything I could have done. Had to take avoiding action off the racing track, do a bit of lawn mowing for the Whilton Mill kart circuit. Logan really didn't have anywhere to go because he had a driver on his inside as well, so he apologised for it after the race, but I thought that was just hard but fair racing just then with Logan McAllister. Anyway, he's closed up right back up to Blake Southern, and I'm behind Orange Trail Mid driver, and we're going to try and regain our positions. Logan gets bumped into from the orange helmet, and we accidentally bump into him. Now we've got the outside for this corner, and we managed to get an undercut on him, so we're going to go up the inside. He turns across, so he runs a bit wide, and we get the move done there. But sadly, that move actually ended up getting us a 4-place penalty. But when I asked the driver about it later on, he just thought it was just some hard and fair racing. So I don't fully agree with that penalty, as we actually got 4 places first. So I think that was our first penalty of this entire season. So not great from us, as that actually would drop us quite a few places down, which obviously is not great for our championship battle. But anyway, we continue. We get a little bit pushed wide there by the driver behind, and we had to launch the curb to make sure we don't go flying off. Now into Ashby, you see Logan battling there with Blake Southern, as Logan actually almost manages to get the overtake done, but then Blake has the inside for the next corner. Logan's really trying to get past, and that's slowing them both down, which means I'm going to be able to catch up. And Logan almost manages to get on the inside, shaking his head. He's not pleased. He wants to overtake, obviously, and pull away, because Blake is costing us a lot of time. As you can see, Max is actually going around the final few corners and on the the final straight, so he's miles in front. From before, he was only maybe a few tenths in front of Blake, but now he's multiple seconds. So obviously, me and Logan want to get past Blake as soon as possible. On the inside, Blake's gonna go to the inside, Logan's going to go to the outside. I'm going to go down the inside of Logan, and he gives us the space, I give him the space, and now we're behind Blake Southern. I think this is the last lap of the race actually, so Blake goes defensive, and we actually managed to get a lovely switch back there. Great move by us, and we're actually into P3 in this race, so but sadly we've got that 4-place penalty, which would drop us back down to 5th. Logan went down our inside there, but we just see him in time, so we give him just enough space so we don't get fired off again. Going through the boot for the final time this round, making sure to just be nice and smooth, preparing to clobber the curb, and we actually managed to hook up the final corner pretty well for once, and that's going to be P3 over the line. But sadly, with that 4-place penalty we got midway through the race, that's going to be a P7 finish for us. So not optimal. Pretty good race from us, managing to make up a bunch of places. Very tough racing, very chaotic racing at some points in that race. As you can see there, Logan was not happy with some of the drivers there. Almost bumped into the back of him. So yeah, that's Whilton Mill for you, and I'll see you in the next video.